Spoiler alert. This narration contains major plot details about the movie Parasite. Proceed with caution if you haven't watched the film yet. Gather around and let me tell you a tale like no other. A story that will grip your heart and send shivers down your spine. It is a story of cunning and deception, of dreams and despair. This is the story of Parasite, a Korean movie from 2019 that paints a vivid picture of the chasm between the rich and the poor. In the bustling city of Seoul lived a family of four: Ki-taek, his wife Chung-suk, and their two children, Ki-woo and Ki-young. They were poor, oh so very poor, struggling to make ends meet while living in a small, dingy semi-basement apartment. Their home was infested with stink bugs, and they scrounged for free Wi-Fi from their neighbors. Life was hard, but they had each other, and that was enough to keep them going. One day, a golden opportunity came knocking at their door. Ki-woo's friend, Min-hyuk, who was leaving to study abroad, offered him a job. Min-hyuk was tutoring a wealthy girl named Da-hae, and he suggested that Ki-woo take over his position.
그때까지만 네가 잘 좀 챙겨줘라. 너라면 내가 진짜 믿고 떠날 수 있다.
You see, Min-hyuk trusted Ki-woo, believing that he would keep Da-hae safe from other predatory suitors. With a forged university diploma, Ki-woo stepped into the luxurious world of the Park family. The Park family was the epitome of wealth and privilege. Mr. Park was a successful businessman, his wife Young-gyo was naive and gullible, and they had two children, Da-hae, who blossomed under Ki-woo's tutoring, and Da-song, a young boy with a wild imagination. The Parks lived in a grand mansion designed by a famous architect, a house so magnificent that it felt like a dream to Ki-woo. But this is where the story takes a dark turn. Ki-woo saw an opportunity not just for himself, but for his entire family. With clever schemes and meticulous planning, he orchestrated a series of events that led to the entire Kim family infiltrating the Park household. Ki-young became Jessica, an art therapist for Da-song. Chung-suk replaced the loyal housekeeper Moon-gwang, and Ki-taek became Mr. Park's chauffeur. For a while, everything seemed perfect. The Kims enjoyed the luxuries of the Park mansion, and they felt as if they had finally escaped the clutches of poverty. But in the shadows lurked secrets that would soon unravel their carefully constructed facade. One stormy night, when the Parks were away on a camping trip, Moon-gwang returned to the house. She revealed a hidden bunker in the basement where her husband, Gun-sae, had been living in secret for years to escape his debts. Desperation led to a confrontation between Moon-gwang and the Kims, and in the chaos that ensued, Moon-gwang was gravely injured. The Parks returned home early, and the Kims barely managed to conceal the evidence of the night's events. But the tension had reached its peak, and the Kims' house of cards was on the verge of collapse. The next day, during Da-song's birthday party, the truth exploded in a violent climax. Gun-sae, driven mad by grief and rage, emerged from the basement and attacked the partygoers. He fatally wounded Ki-young and caused a panic among the guests. In the ensuing chaos, Ki-taek, overwhelmed by anger and despair, stabbed Mr. Park and fled the scene, disappearing into the night. As the dust settled, the remnants of the Kim family's dream lay in ruins. Ki-woo survived but was left with a brain injury, his sister dead, and his father missing. Chung-suk was left to pick up the pieces of their shattered lives. The Park family, once so invincible, was broken as well, victims of a system that pits the rich against the poor in a cruel game of survival. What Parasite is all about. Parasite is a poignant and brutal commentary on the social divide that exists in our world. It is a tale of how desperation can lead good people to commit unspeakable acts. The Kims, in their pursuit of a better life, became parasites themselves, feeding off the wealth of the Parks. Yet, in the end, they were not the true parasites. The real parasite was the system that allowed such disparity to exist, a system that dehumanizes and pits people against each other. The movie shows us that no matter how high you climb, the shadows of your past and the flaws of society can always pull you back down. It's a powerful reminder that empathy and understanding are crucial if we ever hope to bridge the gap between the haves and the have-nots. So, remember this story well, for it is a reflection of the world we live in, and a call to action for us all to strive for a better, more just society.